Donald Trump's pudding brain was on display about 3 times today because his handlers thought it was a great idea to throw him in front of the camera as much as possible. And how did that work out? Well, just as well as it usually does, because after Trump finished declaring war on American cities and begging for a Nobel Peace Prize, he decided that he would go and talk about a government shutdown he clearly doesn't understand, because he literally lost his ability to speak, think, or remember anything. It was a complete meltdown that we are going to get into. But before we do, I want to start with how Trump first addressed the shutdown, his ridiculous, nonsensical framing, and the lies that he was telling about illegals and Cadillacs.
We could come up and through this whole thing, because, I don't know, we'll probably have a shutdown, because one of the things they want to do is they want to give incredible Medicare, the Cadillac Medicare, to illegal immigrants. And what that does is it keeps them coming into our country, and like they do in California. And no country can afford that, no country. And we have the border stopped up. We have it closed. We have nobody for 4 months. Zero people came in. That wasn't me. That's by the authorities, who happen to be liberally oriented. But just think of that. We have people offering health care to people all over the world that they can't afford to pay. And that's the Democrats. And what that does is it brings people into the country because they want to come in for the health care. But no country can afford it. And they can't afford it. So we cannot allow them to charge tremendous amounts of money for health care for people that aren't even citizens. And in many cases, they come in from prisons, jails, and mental institutions. And we can't let that happen. So
Donald Trump, who is about to steal health care away from tens of millions of Americans, wants you to think it's because of trans people. I guess Obama maybe is going to be introduced a little bit later in this meltdown, and Cadillacs that are being given to illegals. Yes, Donald Trump, the man with the gold toilet, is complaining about extravagance that actually isn't going on, because that's what this administration does. It's all for show. It's all to stroke his ego. It is all to make Donald Trump feel happier about the fact that the deal maker in chief, the guy who literally didn't write a book about making deals, he can't cut one right now because his agenda is so unpopular and everybody knows it. It is why he went in front of a group of generals today to complain why and ask for applause and to beg for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Saved a lot of them. Even in Africa, we saved the Congo with Rwanda. They've been fighting for 31 years, 10 million people dead. I got that one done, and very proud of it. So if this works out, we'll have 8 in 8 months. That's pretty good. Nobody's ever done that. Will you get the Nobel Prize? Absolutely not. They'll give it to some guy that didn't do a damn thing. They'll give it to a guy that wrote a book about the mind of Donald Trump and what it took to solve the wars. And he'll get the Nobel Prize will go to a writer. No, but let's see what happens. But it's be a big insult to our country. I will tell you that. I don't want it. I want the country to get it. It should get it because there's never been anything like it. Think of it. So if this happens, I think it will. I don't say that lightly because I know more about deals than anybody. This is what my whole life was based on.
Oh yes, Donald Trump isn't asking for the Nobel Prize himself. He wants it for the country, because that would make us feel better about having a war criminal fascist president who is stealing billions of dollars during his term. Yes, a Nobel Peace Prize for all of us, we would share in it. That would really warm our hearts. But it didn't stop there for the lunatic president, unable to really communicate anything of sense today, because of course, as we know, there is a looming government shutdown. And Donald Trump is dead set focused on it. Except for the fact that he actually isn't, because he not only doesn't understand what's at stake, he doesn't understand the players. We saw Donald Trump last night post a racist video attacking Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer, but clearly he only remembers that he attacked Chuck Schumer because when talking about the shutdown, when talking about Jeffries, he wasn't talking about Jeffries. Just listen to what he said.
By 1/4%. I think it was 1/8 of 1%, but it was the only one in 28 years that brought drug prices down for the year. But it was a very small number. Now we're talking about, you're going to see one over 1,000%. Look at these numbers. So, and this has a big impact, even on the discussion that we'll have with Chuck Schumer, who was here yesterday, along with a very nice gentleman who I didn't really know. You know who I'm talking about. The two of them came, and we had a good discussion, and we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens.
There's a guy who was with Chuck. I don't remember who he was, but I didn't like him, and you know who I'm talking about. Do we? Do you remember who you're talking about? This guy's brain is broken. It is dripping out of his ears. The mainstream media often neglects Donald Trump's cognitive decline, but I guess that's okay because he is forcing them to cover it. How can we expect the president to make a deal with Democrats when he can't remember who those Democrats are? Unless, I guess, he's making racist posts about them. That is what Donald Trump's focus is. It is attack, it is bring attention to himself, and it is pretend that people are praising him. That is not the case, though. Democrats need to take this as an opportunity to make Republicans feel pain around the shutdown because Americans know it is Donald Trump's fault. Donald Trump's focus is not on you, but himself, and attacking his political enemies. Just listen to him literally declare war.
What they've done to San Francisco, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, they're very unsafe places, and we're going to straighten them out one by one. And this is going to be a major part for some of the people in this room. That's a war, too. It's a war from within. Controlling the physical territory of our border is essential to national security. We can't let these people in.
So if you are in New York, San Francisco, Chicago, LA, really any blue city, Donald Trump is now declaring war on you. These people talk about rhetoric, say that it is a slur to call them fascist, which, by the way, Donald, you are, while J.D. Vance cries over the mean memes that Gavin Newsom mocks him with, but they are declaring war in front of generals. There is a reason that they want to politicize the military. It is because Donald Trump wants a fighting force to intimidate his opponents. He will indict you, he will rip you out of your house. He will send mass thugs to your streets because that is all he has left. Donald Trump said that he came into office with a sweeping mandate of everyone loving Donald, everyone backing his agenda, but where is that mandate gone? You can't pass anything. You're saying it's the Democrats who are at fault when you control everything in Washington, and no one has ever been more unpopular than Donald Trump in this moment. And so he is lashing out at his enemies, trying to distract, of course, not just from his failures, but from his failure to cover up his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Donald Trump today, I don't know if you saw, but talked about how much everyone loves his signature. I guess especially his buddy Jeff, but this is what he is focused on right now. What we need to be focused on is making sure that Republicans don't get one over on us again, that Chuck Schumer doesn't bend the knee, that we do not comply with a strongly worded letter, but we actually fight back in the face of a shutdown. And Jamie Raskin talked about exactly how we're going to do that and why we need to right here.
Hey everybody, it's Jamie Raskin, and I'm sending a message to all of my constituents out in Maryland's beautiful 8th District. I'm here today with every Democrat in the U.S. House of Representatives. We've come here to try to keep the government open despite Donald Trump's hell-bent determination on closing the government. So our Republican colleagues are on vacation. They're strewn all over the country doing who knows what. They've canceled votes here, and it's only the Democrats who've shown up for work because we want to keep the government open. But as you know, because, well, I've got tens of thousands of federal workers and contractors in my district, plus everybody's paying attention to what's going on. They've been trying to dismantle federal programs and agencies ever since they got in January. There's been a massive assault on the rights of federal workers. There have been massive unlawful firings of the probationary workers. For example, there have been RIFs where they don't comply at all with the requirements of a RIF, including the protection of veterans. And we've been beating them in court in a lot of ways, but still they have done massive damage and wreckage to the government of the United States, to the federal workforce, and to the ability of our people to get the services and the programs that we all need. So now they want to just shut the government down because they would prefer to shut the government down completely than to deal with the fact that they've created a major healthcare crisis in the country by stripping millions and millions of people of Medicaid health coverage, by voting to destroy Affordable Care Act tax credits and remove those from millions of people who need them. And the Democrats have just said, no way. You control the House, you control the Senate, you control the White House through all of your gerrymandering and voter suppression tactics. If you want to keep the government open under those circumstances where you are cheating the American people out of health care, which is a right and a necessity for our people, you're going to have to do it on your own. So come on back, and why don't we negotiate? But they're not interested in it. They only are interested in the government to the extent that they can profit from the government, because it's a money-making vehicle for the president and his family and their administration. They don't give a damn about the government as the rest of us need the government. They don't care about Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security and what the vast American middle class and working class depend on. So they're just going to go ahead and shut it down. But we say it's not too late. They will be punished by the electorate. They will be punished by the American people for what they are doing. Come on back to Washington. Join us. We've got a continuing resolution we're going to put on the floor to keep it open. And we are going to do that today. We want to be able to vote on that. Come on back to Washington. And so we know that they want to be deploying the National Guard to peaceful cities like Portland, Oregon, where the governor and mayor say there's no problem. Donald Trump, of course, set the standard for deployment of the National Guard right here at the nation's capital when he incited a violent insurrection which injured, wounded, hospitalized, disfigured, disabled more than 140 police officers, and he did nothing. He did not send out the National Guard that was under his direct control, the District of Columbia National Guard. He never sent it out. And now he's sending the National Guard out to Portland, Oregon, where nobody's asking for it, where people are having picnics and taking strolls in downtown Portland. I mean, give me a break. Anything to distract from the fact that they are dismantling the healthcare of the people, and now they're about to completely shut the government down that they've been working to dismantle piece by piece. I've been standing with the federal workers at the Agency for International Development, AID. I've been with the workers of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, the workers at the Department of State, the workers at the Department of Education, our people at NIH when they tried to cut billions of dollars out of medical and public health research grants that fuel scientific innovation and medical breakthroughs in the country. I've been standing up with the workers at the Food and Drug Administration all across the federal government, and now they're going to try to just shut the entire thing down. It's a very dangerous moment for American constitutional democracy. We tell our Republican colleagues, come on back to Washington, do your job. Let's get to work. Let's figure out a way through this crisis, and let's restore the healthcare rights and the benefits of the people. Let's get democracy moving in the right direction again. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
This is a moment for real courage. This is a moment for clarity in who is failing the American people and which side Republicans and Democrats are on. We want to protect people's right to health care, what should be a human right, but what Donald Trump says is a Cadillac if you are not going into medical debt in the wealthiest nation in the world to cure a treatable disease. I guess it's the equivalent of driving around in a nice car to Trump, the man who is a billionaire grifter. It doesn't really compute. But we need to take this opportunity, show the failure of the Republican Party, show the failure of Donald Trump, and demonstrate why these people can't be trusted to govern. This is a message that we have to deliver on in the midterms. Let's start by doing it right now. And if you want to support us doing that on this channel, no matter where we are, because I'm on the Hill right now covering this shutdown, and so we're outside of the studio, but I hope you think that's okay. We got some fun interviews coming throughout the rest of the day. But if you want to support the show, as always, you can do so by hitting that subscribe button, leaving a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments, and we're going to be writing about this shutdown, so subscribe to my Substack right here or linked down below. We're going to keep on fighting. We're not letting Trump silence us. And until next time, I'll see you soon.